Hey everybody, it's Erin Wester here. It's Friday, April 1st. Last night when I went to bed, I was really thinking about my true why, my story, really the things I have not been sharing. I mean, most people know the basic story. 2008, a little bit over a year after birth to my son, I was about 10 pounds heavier than I was when I was pregnant. And I just looked in the mirror and I was like, why? This was my 20th birthday. I was like, why did I let it get this bad? I'd seen pictures of myself. I didn't recognize myself. So I went to Weight Watchers. I didn't really know any better. I didn't know what else to do. They had Weight Watchers at the Y, where my mom worked. So Weight Watchers and Zumba. And that's really when I started my fitness journey. I had a friend from high school who was a Beachbody coach. She said, you know what, you should really try P90X. I think this was about 2009. So I said, sure, I'll try P90X. And she convinced me to sign up as a coach for the discount, so I did. And I started P90X. Nothing about Shakeology, nothing about nutrition. I kept following Weight Watchers, doing P90X, going to Zumba. I would get up at 5 a.m. before I had to go to work and work out in my basement. So that's kind of what I did. I had P90X. I went to Weight Watchers meetings. I was a coach. I didn't really do anything. I'm like, well, this coaching thing is stupid. I'm not making money. I mean, I wasn't inviting anybody. I wasn't really trying to get anybody as clients. So I quit as a coach. Biggest mistake I ever made. If I look where I am now and where I could have been if I would have stayed in since 2009, it's kind of crazy to think about. But, I was doing P90X, kind of, sort of. But I was doing my Weight Watchers, I was doing pretty good. So in June of 2010, my friend from high school came to me again. She said, you know what, you should really use Shakeology. And there's this new program called TurboFire that I think you'd like since you take Zumba classes. So I said, okay, try this coaching thing one more time. Try this Shakeology thing. I tried a sample. I really liked it. I said, sure, okay. Back then there wasn't challenge packs. So basically I bought Shakeology and paid the $40 sign up to be a coach. So that's basically how I got started. TurboFire and Shakeology, not in a challenge pack. And I became a coach. Around this time I was in my last semester of grad school to graduate with my master's in social work. I was worried about finding a job. I didn't know if I'd be able to find a job. I was working at Starbucks at the time because you got insurance working 20 hours a week, and I was a single mom. I had suffered from so much anxiety, depression, just so many problems because I had been in a domestic violent relationship. So I had a lot of work to do on myself, but I knew I had to get my fitness under control. After one round of TurboFire and a round of P90X, I reached my goal, which was 160 pounds. I had become a diamond coach in 100 days. So, I was doing great. I was making like $500 a week, $600 a week. I was pretty happy with where I was. I had a team as a diamond coach. So, I was pretty happy where I was in the company. I'd find a job working for the state doing child protection. A pretty good job for your first job out of school. So, I was pretty happy. I was diamond coach. You can look this up. I stayed diamond, I believe, for 8 months. That's how long I kept my diamond. But then, work got more stressful. Training was over, so we were in the field. Long days, 12, 13-hour days. On calls on weekends. It was just pretty stressful. So I kind of just let my fitness go. I reached my goal. I thought I could just maintain it. Wasn't working out, wasn't working my business, wasn't supporting my team. My coaches are my clients. And this was after about a year of working the business. I kind of just let it slide. A bunch of my coaches quit. I think I had 4 coaches that stayed. Just because they were lovers of the product. They wanted the discount. One was my mom, one was my boyfriend, one was my superstar coach. Stuart, he stayed. He was the second coach I ever signed. But I kind of just left it all behind. I'm just going to focus on my career. I was like, oh, this is just a part-time thing anyways, lost my diamond, went down to emerald. I was making only like $250 a week, lucky if I was making that much. But I was okay. Had a pretty good job. I was still living with my parents. I was fine. Just kind of let it slide. And then I actually went to my first summit. I was Lifetime Diamond coach, but I was Emerald. This was in 2013. Went to my first summit in Vegas. Actually got engaged at my first summit in Vegas. And, I was still just happy being Emerald, not really working the business, just kind of going along. We had signed up for the Success Club trip. It was a cruise. Kind of planned our wedding around that trip. I didn't earn the trip. I didn't know what Success Club was. I was just basically being stupid because, my coach had been kicked out of Beachbody, and I didn't really know this Barbie person who I'd been assigned under. So I still stayed Emerald, just happy making my $250 a week. I still had a job. I was fine. I was still trying to find my way in social work. Child protection wasn't working. Went back to school for counseling. Didn't like that. Just nothing was working out. I worked with some veterans in a residential facility. I was a guardian. Just none of it was working. So I got married March 2014. I went on the Success Club trip at the end of March. And while I was there, I just had this aha moment. Things have been pretty bad personally. About 6 weeks before we got married, my nephew, who had actually just turned 1, was diagnosed with cancer. A very rare form of cancer that there wasn't a good chance that he would even recover. Chances are he would probably die. It's just this 1-year-old boy that had this horrible death sentence, and this was just the start of downhill spiral with our family. This was just the start. And, I thought about it last night because I'm wearing his shirt from when he had cancer. And, we were supposed to get married in 6 weeks. He had this horrible diagnosis, and it was just horrible. And I was just like, what am I doing? We want to have a family. I can't be working this stressful job. I can't be away from my kids like this. What if something bad happened? I'd have to take unpaid time off work. To get married and go on honeymoon, I'd take unpaid time off work. I liked my job, but just the benefits and the vacation time, they just weren't there. And I had no way to control my time. And, having a nephew dying from cancer is a pretty good wake-up call. We went on this cruise, which I didn't earn. We paid for the whole thing. All the coaches out there are cringing because I cringe now that we went on the last cruise and I actually earned the cruise, and I'm earning the trip to Punta Cana. And, I didn't know anything about Success Club trips. I didn't know anything about Success Club. I hadn't been working the business for 3 years. But we go on this trip and I see all these people who are doing this full time, who didn't have to take time off work to go on the trip, that earn the trip, earn cruise dollars. Like, why can't I be that person? Why am I just stuck at Emerald for 3 years? It's a waste of my time. So I went home. I reached out to my coach. I said, what do I need to do? I need to build this business. I need to be home with my family. All this, my nephew's still fighting for his life with cancer. I said, this is not the life I want. So I talked to my coach. I said, what do I need to do? I was been a coach for almost 4 years at this point. And I said, well, I'm going to join the new coach boot camp. I'm going to really learn this business and do what I need to do to make this what supports my family. So I went all in. April 1st, 2014, I went all in. So that was 2 years ago today. And I had to build my business from scratch. Let me think. I had Stuart as a coach. My mom was a coach. And my now husband was a coach. That was it. Those were the only coaches I had. I had 3 coaches. So I was building from scratch. So I built my business from Emerald in April 1st, 2014 to 1-star Diamond before Summit. So that was end of June. So I went from Emerald, the dog joined me, from Emerald to 1-star Diamond in 10 weeks. I was just that motivated. I've said, I need to do this for me. I was just leaving so much money on the table, maxing myself out. So by the time I went to Summit in 2014, I had tripled my income with Beachbody. making almost $1,000 a week. I built my team back up to 1-star diamond team. I mean, just a 1-star diamond team. I mean, I was barely 1-star, but I was. That was really what was important to me. And went to Summit as a 1-star diamond, got to walk the stage. It was just an amazing feeling. And I continue to grow. I'm still 1-star diamond, but I think I've doubled the size of my team since then, since June of 2014. And I've made it to a little more than $1,000 a week. I make about $1,200 to $1,300 a week. More bad things have happened. So I got pregnant with my daughter in February of last year, and we found out we were having twins, and that was a blessing, and we were just so pleased that we were going to be having twins, and had found out we were going to have twins. Everything was going well, but I had to go on bed rest at one point because I was driving for my job. I couldn't really do it anymore, and I had to take a longer maternity leave, and when I turned that into my job, they did not approve my maternity leave. I had not been there for a year yet, so I didn't qualify for the Family Medical Leave Act. So they basically said, when you go on your maternity leave in October, there's going to be no job for you to come back to. So, it was a blessing in disguise. I was going to quit at the end of the year anyways. I wasn't quite where I wanted to be with my business. I'm still about $500 a week off where I wanted to be. I didn't have my car paid off, which was another goal that we wanted to do by the end of the year. Hadn't paid my car off. So, basically all of a sudden I was a full-time coach. I'm going to be having twins. Going to be on bed rest basically for weeks until the twins came. But it was okay. I felt good. I knew we were going to save money on not having to put our kids in daycare. I was going to have more time to build a business. So, I was okay with it. I just kind of let it be. And when our girls were 6 days old, one of our daughters, Victoria, actually, her heart stopped. It was about 3 in the morning. It was while we were breastfeeding. And we called 911. Husband tried to revive her. We weren't quick enough. The ambulance came. They got her started back up again. She went to our local hospital and got stabilized. And then a team from Children's Hospital came down and transported her up to Milwaukee, where they're specialists there. And she went into the PICU up there. She was in a coma on a breathing machine, hooked up to watch her brain waves, which there were no brain waves. There were times when we thought things were going to get better. She's having seizures, which caused some brain activity to register, but it was really just from the seizures. It wasn't actual brain waves. Her brain stem had actually died. She'd been out too long. Still, to this day, I have no clue what happened. This was in October of last year. After 6 days at Children's Hospital, they determined her brainstem was dead. Basically, she would have to stay on a breathing machine for the rest of her life. She probably would only live a few years. So, she'd been on a breathing machine, and we had to make the decision to turn the machine off. She would have been a vegetable. She never would have woke up. She never would have talked to us. She wouldn't even know we were there, what was going on. So, we had to make that decision for us. It was hard. Luckily, we still had Alexandra. She stayed with us at the hospital the whole week we were there. And the whole time I was there, my team was just so supportive. The whole Beachbody community was just so supportive. My team worked their butts off to keep building when I wasn't there. Stuart kind of helped me a lot with my team while I was out of commission. I was out of commission. My daughter had died. That's the hardest thing a parent will ever go through, is losing a daughter and having to make the decision to turn that machine off. That's the hardest decision you'll ever make. So, we had a lot of tragedy. And as I was going through it all, I said, I'm so grateful that I don't have to go back to a job. I'm so grateful that I don't have to take unpaid time off. I'm so grateful that I have this community of people that I never realized were there for me like that. It was the first time I realized that this was really what I was supposed to be doing. And about middle of December, I really started back working the business. I literally took 2 months off, and my business still grew. So that's the amazing thing about coaching with Beachbody, is that your business will still grow even if something bad happens. Um, you know, we're still going one day at a time. It's still hard. There's some days that I just don't want to do this, but I remember my team, my customers, my clients that count on me, my followers that count on me to be there, and I'm there. I probably wouldn't make it through without you guys there. I mean, that's really what it's about, is having people there that really care. And you don't realize how much people care until something bad happens. And then probably about, I don't even know how long ago this was, 4 or 5 weeks ago, my dad actually had a fall on the ice. And he had to be taken by ambulance to the hospital. And if I would have been working my regular job, I would not have been here for my mom. I was able to get to the hospital the same time she got there. If I was working my job in Milwaukee, there's no way I could have been there that fast for her. And it just makes me grateful that I'm able to be there when bad things happen. If a lot of things happen, cancer, which my nephew beat, death of a child, which we still have 2 more children. I mean, yeah, it's hard. It's hard losing a child, but you still have other children there that count on you. My dad having a major fall, breaking 3 ribs, rupturing organs. I mean, it's just a blessing to be able to be there and not miss out and take the time you need for you and to heal, and have this community of Beachbody behind you that really supports you and helps you. So, I mean, if you're lost, if you have been through addiction like me, if you have been through low self-esteem, loss, disease like cancer for your family, anything like that, cancer for yourself, really think about what you need. Think about what kind of community you want surrounding you. I'm always looking for people like me for my team. That's really the kind of people that I connect with and I want to help most. People that have been through stuff like I have been through the domestic violence, have been through loss of a child, that have been through addiction to food and alcohol like I have. I was kicked out of school for not going to class because I was an alcoholic. Make bad decisions, be with the wrong crowd, but not anymore. That I've found a community that really cares. My clients, my coaches, other coaches in the Beachbody community that really care. I'm a totally different person now than I was then. And it helps me to get through something like losing a child. I mean, that really helped me get through it. If it wasn't for this community, for my family, for my friends, for those that I really didn't think had my back like that, who knows where I would be today. I'm depressed, suicidal, anxious like I used to be, but I'm not like that not today. I mean, yeah, I'm grieving. Days are hard. I have bouts of depression, but I use my fitness, I use my resources, my community to get through it. And seriously, this is something that can change your life. Made me so I didn't put my kids in daycare. Makes me so I have spring break where I could be with my son. Yeah, I worked a couple hours every day, but I still had the time to be with him. It's the first spring break that I've been able to be with him without having to take time off work. So that's a pretty crazy, amazing feeling. So if you're looking for something, anything to change, please reach out to me because I really want to help. Be it my clean eating group that starts next week, my 30-day bikini boot camp starts end of the month. My new coach training starts Monday, so there's still time to get in. So if you want to join my team, if you just want to talk, that's what I'm here for. So I hope everybody is doing great, and I will see everybody later. Have a great Friday. Happy April Fools. Bye.